5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On the brakes, Leclerc has that inside line. Perez goes off the track, comes to chicane, off goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff.
Hi, this is Solo. Oh God, got my name then. This is Solo P1. Welcome to Keep It Sports. Today, we're going to talk about what happened on the weekend regarding Lewis Hamilton and George Russell Spa, the Belgian Grand Prix. It was an amazing race, controversial race at the end as well. But we're going to go through it all. We're going to talk about everything. But before we start talking about it, I'm going to bring in my coach, who's my partner in crime, TOTO Hammer. How's it going, Toto?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't see you though.
My front camera ain't working at the moment. I don't know what's going on, but my front camera ain't working.
Okay. I saw something. Yeah, Karen, how you doing, bro?
Doing well. It was a really, really good race, but I'm doing so far doing well. I'm just recapping the race, trying to remember what happened in the race. Of course, got a few bullet points down, but of course, rewatching, trying to see what happened in the race. But yeah, enjoyed it. This race, probably one of the best races of the year. There's lots of action. At Spa, you expect lots of action. Much better from the qualifying, because the qualifying was absolutely boring. But of course, this is the race review, and the race was absolutely amazing, especially lap one. Amazing. But so far, so good. Yeah.
So I'm going to speak to you about this. Do you think, at the end of the race, and when you saw George Russell take the victory temporarily, did you ever think in your mind that it was going to get reversed and it was going to go back to Lewis?
No, I never thought. I was thinking in my head. I was thinking in my head that how is Russell so quick on these tyres? That's the only thing I was thinking. But after doing the one stop, and the one stop weren't projected of anything in this race, and even Toto said after the race, saying that even if we did a one stop or a two stop, we're still projected to finish 5th place. So none of it would have mattered, and he stayed out, took the gamble, and he got the win. I thought, at the start, I was surprised in how he done that. And I thought, it was credit to Russell, winning the race on a one-stop strategy. Big up to him. But I did not know that the car was underweight or anything like that. I was just thinking, it was a good strategy by Russell. I was always concerned how he was so fast, but I just thought it was a good strategy. That's the first time I thought, but after the decision coming out on Twitter and all social media and the news, you can say it kind of makes sense, because you can see how good Russell and how fast Russell was in that car. Hamilton could not go nowhere near him, and he was on a much faster strategy. He was on the much faster tyres, if you regard tyre life. So, it was a bit strange.
Yeah, I think you're not the only one. He thought it was strange. But the Grand Prix was a good Grand Prix. Not so much a look for Lando Norris. Lando Norris not really making any grounds, making any point gains on Max Verstappen, which is a bit disappointed for McLaren as well. You would have thought that Lando Norris would have made some more points on Max Verstappen. So his title challenge is kind of slipping away slowly. What do you think about it? Sorry, what do you think about that?
About Verstappen's title challenges?
About McLaren's title challenge, more specifically Lando.
Okay. But yeah, McLaren, so far in the season, of course, they weren't there at the beginning of the season, and now their car is starting to get up there, but again, losing points. Norris losing points to Verstappen. It's not necessarily that it's not big points, but most of the races that Verstappen's always finishing in front of him or close to him. He's always finishing in front of him, right? Of course, Lando finished with good points in Hungary when McLaren got the 1-2, but that's not on a consistent basis. Lando, for me, I don't know what's going on with him. He had plenty of time to overtake Max in that race. Plenty, lots and lots of time. He was close to him at one point, and then he let Max pull away from him, and that was it for the entire race. That was it, And I think McLaren's total challenge in the constructors is still there because they've got a lot of points on the table. So McLaren still has a chance in the constructors, but in the drivers, where Lando should be finishing in front of Max, obviously, but should be finishing in them top positions, especially with that car as well. How good that car is. They should be at least finishing top 5, top 4. He should have finished ahead of Max. He should have, but he didn't, right? And look, McLaren's title hopes in the constructors is still there, but that driver's title, if Lando and Norris don't, fix up and start putting a positive mindset on himself, because I can see by Lando, you can see that he's down in them interviews. You can see that he's dejected every time he does them interviews. You can just see it in his face. You can see it in his body language, and that's bad. That is bad. And it's true what Jenson Button said. I don't know if it's Silverstone or whatever. I think he
said it was Silverstone.
Yeah, Silverstone. Jenson Button says that he's been too hard on himself, and it will catch up to him. And it's true. It is true. He's catching up to him now because
he has to have that. He has to have that positive mindset.
Yeah, because he's not performing at the moment, and he has so much time. He was close to Max at one time as well, but again, making mistakes. You can see about Lando that he's a decent driver, but he makes mistakes. You can see that when he's on the track, he makes a lot of mistakes. So he just needs to fix up after the summer break and just see where he can go from there.
I totally agree, Toto. He needs I think it was Silverstone. He might have been was it Australia, but it was one of those. He said he needs to have that positive mindset. He needs to stop being hard on himself, because if you start being hard on yourself as a driver, as you know, because you're a driver, that it starts to affect your performance on track. Because once you've got that negative, the negative attitude, it's going to reflect on your racing. And I reckon this is what's happening now. It's reflecting on his racing. And so all Lando has to do is just go back to the drawing board, go back to what brought him to the dance, go back to what made him a good driver in the first place, and just get it done. There's a bit of delay in my stream, by the way. I don't know what it is. I'll pop out and come back in so you can take it over from me. Give me a second.
Yeah. As I, take control of it, I think I think total challenges are still up. I think there's still lots of time in this season. I just think that what's expected from McLaren should be up there more. And I'm surprised that they didn't put in a performance. Piastri's putting in the performances at the moment. Piastri's doing so good in that McLaren car. He's getting up there, but
he's doing it, isn't he? He's doing it.
McLaren need, of course, Lando to be up there as well, because he's the one that's challenging for the title, and he's the one that's close to Max. So if I just want anyone to finish above Max, and Lando is close to Max. So
standard
with McLaren, I don't know what priorities in that team. I think they're fair, because we saw that in Hungary. Because Piastri's in front for most of the race. And, of course, he got screwed up in the strategy and then the changeover at the end. I think McLaren's quite fair of how they order their drivers. But I still
a bit like Mercedes. A bit like Mercedes, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit like Mercedes, yeah. But Lando is finishing in low points. And it's not even the fact of that. All he has to do is finish in front of Max. Max is finishing in front of him. Even if you finish 8th and Max finishing in front of you, it's bad. But if you finishes 8th and then Max is behind him, that's good, because he's getting more points than Max, obviously. He sounds pretty obvious what I'm saying, but it's true. That's what he needs to do. I'm just saying that's what he needs to do. And at the moment, he's not doing that on a consistent basis. He's always, putting himself down. He's always having that negative body language. He's always being negative all the time, especially in the interviews. He needs to, chin up, and he just needs to, snap out of it, man, because he was challenging. But as soon as, he didn't win any races, and there's look, of course you want to be competitive in the sport. You want to finish first all the time, right? If you go in Formula One, if you go in Formula One, you don't want to win. There's no point of being in Formula One. Every single Formula One driver wants to win. Even if they finish second and third, they still want to be first. They still want to be on top of that podium, right? And I can understand Lando Norris in a fact. I can understand him why he's down like that, because he's not winning. But you can't always be like that, because that will take a negative effect on yourself. So he just needs to focus on finishing above Max. That's all he needs to do.
I totally agree, Toto. Everything you just said, I totally agree. Basically, he needs to have that positive mindset as well going forward, because it's slowly but surely, no, not surely, but slowly, it's getting away from him, the title. Do you think that there was too much damage done at the beginning? You think at the beginning of the tournament of the F1 season that Max Verstappen won it at the beginning, won all them races? And, remember at the beginning of the season, McLaren wasn't really there. They only started to kick in at Imola. It was Imola. That was the race really where it was Miami. That was the race where they started to push on. Do you think that the damage was done in the first kind of quarter of the season? Do you think the damage was already done for McLaren to try and win the title? Or was it Lando when he was at Imola, when he made those mistakes, when he was trying to chase Max down, going over the chicane, costing him time, silly little mistakes?
I think it was Lando at Imola. I think it was Lando at Imola because McLaren was still in the title, even though because there's a long season to go still. There's still a long way to go of the season. Yeah, and the title isn't done at the beginning of the season. Because even though Max can win race after race, or Red Bull can win a couple of races, it's still not over. There's still a team that can come back and do damage. And McLaren did damage, but Lando had his chance to win at Imola, like you said. But like I said, like I was saying just a moment ago, that Lando is a decent driver, but he makes
he's a very good driver.
He's a good driver, but he makes too much mistakes. Like Imola, like you just for reference, made two mistakes. Belgium, for an example, I think he entered the gravel. I don't know if that's Leclerc or Norris. That was Leclerc, but he did make a couple of mistakes in the start.
Yeah, he was making mistakes before. I like the Imola one. I definitely I concur with you on that one with the Imola. He was making silly mistakes there, and a few other little mistakes where he should have won the race, and he just come up short. Do you think their mistakes might have cost him the title? We know there's a long season to go. There's a long way to go. I agree with you on that one. But do you think that the damage was done at the beginning? Do you think maybe if McLaren was good from the day one, that it would have been a more closer season? But this goes back to what I said before. When Lewis Hamilton, when the hybrid era came in 2014, the Mercedes blew everybody away. But it was only and then Ferrari caught up in the 18 and 19 for a little bit. But obviously the reliability on Vettel's car and Ferrari and strategy cost Vettel the title for me in 2018. But after that, it was only towards the end of the regulations when it got to 2020, you saw the emergence of Red Bull. You saw Max Verstappen coming in, winning those races, getting second, third. He was always nipping at Lewis Hamilton's heels, snap at his heels through the 2020 season. But even though Lewis Hamilton won the title in 2020, look at the last 3 or 4 races of the 2020 season. Red Bull won them. Red Bull won those races at the end of 2020 season. So we knew when 2021 came, we knew the last of the regulations of the hybrid era. We knew that it was going to be between Lewis and Max. We knew this happening. Can you see that similar pattern happening now? Maybe now McLaren's going to step up again, start winning races, and Mercedes are going to start winning some as well. And when we come into the last of the regulations next season, 2025, the last of the Grand Effect era, we're not just going to see McLaren and Red Bull. We're going to see McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, and potential Ferrari. Can you see that happening next year? Because that's how it usually goes. It's always the last of the regulations. The last 2 years are usually the most exciting ones because the other teams catch up.
Yeah, I can see that because there's teams starting to improve. Of course, Ferrari's not in the best state, but of course, when the new regulations come, in 2020, the last regulation of 2025, when the ground effect era, of course, there's more teams start to adapt, and I think these lower teams at the moment, like Ferrari, never used to be a lower team, and Ferrari had that phase where they were starting to win races and they dropped.
Yeah.
But I think when the new regulations come, like a Ferrari will do good. I think Mercedes will do really, really good.
Yeah.
I think they will adapt because look at Mercedes now, for an example. If you compare Mercedes now to the start of the season, completely different story. So I think they'll improve. I think Red Bull will drop or stay there. I think they will drop in pace. I don't think they'll be the same dominant car like there was before. They'll drop a bit of pace. I think when the new regulations come, there will be more cars that are equal in the front line. Like I think Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren will be equal. That's just in my opinion. Right, I think it's going to be a close championship in the future, and I see in this season as well that Mercedes is starting to improve, and it's like usually the last few races where teams get to go all out and test a new part for like regulations. The last few races, that's the team will know who's gonna be good in the future, or for the season after, or the season or the season next, right? Because there's going to be lots of teams that I'm going with. That lots of teams are going to be equal after the ground effect era.
Yeah. And but I'm saying like now it's coming to the end of the ground effect era. Like it's always what I'm saying. My point was it always gets exciting the last 2 years because everybody's catching up. But I think there might be a 3-horse race, a potential 4-horse race next season. But if Ferrari can get their act together, we don't know what's going to happen there. But let's start talking about the actual race. We'll briefly go through it. The race. My camera's kind of slow, so it's a bit stuttery. Sorry, guys. StreamYard.
It's fine on my end.
Yeah, but I'm stuttering. I know it's not you, it's me. Is your camera working yet? Maybe it's your charger. Have you got your phone plugged in your charger? That usually works. I'm not sure if you've got that. But anyway,
leave and come back in because I think I need to refresh.
Yeah, but I don't think it's you. I think it's StreamYard because it's playing up with me.
I'll leave and come back in. If it don't work, I'll let you know.
Yeah, no problem. So we're gonna start talking about the Belgian Grand Prix now. The way it started, I was gonna wait for TOTO to come back in. Anybody watching the video, can you please smack that like button? We would appreciate it. Helps out the channel. We're on a small channel. Smack that like button, man. We do F1 content on here, and we do Liverpool Football Club, football talk, news and rumors. Not so much the rumors, more facts really. I don't really like doing rumors videos that much now because I got too much on regarding stuff. So I'm going to bring in TOTO Hammer again.
So I think it's StreamYard because my camera ain't working. I think it's StreamYard.
Okay, StreamYard. So let's start this. So lights out of the way we go. Lewis straight away before the race. I remember after qualifying, no disrespect to the Checo fans, but I remember saying to you on WhatsApp, I said to you, I don't care where Checo finishes. He's not getting a podium. It's just not going to happen. Checo's a brilliant driver. He's in a brilliant car, but he's just not getting a podium. It just wasn't going to happen. So he said, lights out the way we go. So Lewis went from third to second, overtaking Checo immediately. And Lewis was fighting. He was fighting in La Source. Joe's car straight away won you, Joe. Hydraulics on his car, and that was on lap 4. So at this point, Lewis was in second place. What did you think about the start of the race and the way Lewis Hamilton overtook Checo and there was fighting in La Source? What do you think?
I think what Checo was trying to do, he purposely got a slightly slow start. So when it comes to the Eau Rouge, when he's behind Leclerc, he'll get him on the toe. But
Yeah.
what he didn't realise that Hamilton got a really, really, really good start, and it was alongside him. And then Perez had an absolute terrible exit, going a bit wide on the Sasha's curb. I think he went on the Sasha's curb when he went wide. And then, Hamilton had the run on him. But what I think about the start was good, and, Leclerc getting a really, really good start. Hamilton covered off Perez good. And yeah, it's always that big straight that it's not just about how fast your car is, about how smart you are. Because when you're starting first, the best thing to do is to have a slightly slow start and just get the toe off the guy in front. Just get the toe. Whoever's in second, let them go first and get the toe on the back straight. That's probably the best way to get, the maximum at your race start. But Perez had a terrible, terrible start. Even though it's a slightly slow start, he had a terrible start. Hamilton had a good start. And, the start from Hamilton was really, really good. He got run on Perez in the Rouge.
Yeah.
And of course, Perez was behind him going into Rouge. But then Hamilton had the toe off Leclerc. And that's what, because say if Leclerc weren't there and Hamilton straight out up front, Perez would have took the lead. But Leclerc was there for the toe. So Hamilton picked up the toe off Leclerc to cover off Perez. Even though Perez had, the better... Had the toe of Hamilton. Hamilton had the toe of Leclerc as well. So they both worked the same ways. So yeah, it was an absolute amazing start.
Yeah. So the Pirelli tire strategy. There was 3 possible strategies for this Grand Prix. There was the C2, C3, C4. C2 is the hard, C3 is the medium, C4 is the soft. So the possible strategies was start on the medium, 10 to 15 laps, and then you're going to pit and then put on the hard. That'll be 25 or 30 laps, and that'll be a 2-stopper. The other strategy was the 2-stop, which was the 2-stopper as well. You had the medium first, the hard compound, then the soft. So what did you think of the strategy? I think it was Mercedes. Did Mercedes start on the medium? Was it the medium?
I think started the medium, went hard. Yeah.
So they went to medium. So Hamilton, I think he went to a medium. He started on a medium. And then and then he went on the hard, or was it? I think it was like that anyway.
Yeah.
And then he's pitted again in it because he's done the 2-stopper. Russ, what did you think of Russell's strategy on that one stop? Did you think that was strange? Because he started on the hard side, didn't he? And he stayed out, and then he went on the medium. So, what did you think of that strategy?
I think that, Russell, it was unusual because even Pirelli didn't even suggest that strategy. Usually before the race, Pirelli gets all the data and, suggests a strategy for teams to project over and, to use. But no one really expected the 1-stopper. And, even though, the 1-stopper projected him to finish 5th, and the 2-stopper projected to finish 5th. So Mercedes suggested to him that it's up to you. You want to go for the 2-stopper, if you want to go for the 1-stop. Went for the 1-stopper, and we made it stuck out when he went on to, at that time win the race. Then he got penalised after. But look, I was thinking that it was a smart strategy. Because like Russell, hate Russell, or whatever, it was a good strategy. But there has to be something behind. I was always concerned, like, how did he manage to pull off the 1-stop strategy? And his tyres are going to wear out or nothing like that. But you can also say that the hard tyres are really, really good at this track. The hard tyres was good. And the medium tyres, soft tyres to get it. The soft tyres are burnt out in the first 5 laps.
I don't think anyone like that, did they?
Now, I think the Williams did. Some of the bottom liners, starting near the bottom of the race, they started on soft, to gain a bit of time, and then went on to the hards after. Some people went soft, hard, and medium, or soft, hard, medium, or soft, medium, hard. We don't know. I think that's what some strategies went for.
The AlphaTauri was soft tires, soft, hard, medium.
Yeah, soft, hard, medium. Yeah. So a really aggressive strategy, especially hard, like fast first couple of laps, and then went into the hard for a long stint. Then of course the mediums, which are quicker than the hard tyres, until the end of the race. So that's a decent strategy as well, but a bit, early pit stop. But again, onto the strategy of Russell. Unusual but good. But there's always had to be something behind it. How his car lasted for that long. Of course, he was underweight, the car, so that's probably a factor why. But yeah, and it's not just how he managed to put off the one stop. It's how he pulled away, and how Hamilton couldn't catch him when he was on the fast strategy, and that was weird. It was absolutely weird. How Hamilton couldn't pass him after Hamilton had less tyre life on his tyres. He had fresher tyres, so yeah, it was strange.
Yeah, it was strange. But you know what? Nobody thought that that Russell was gonna let that last. I forgot even what lap he pitted on. I know he went far in them tires, and yeah. Even when we're at lap 32, the Russell, his engineer said, "Look," he said to his engineer, "I was happy to stay out." He said to his engineer, ever clearly on the radio, he said, "I was happy to stay out." So yeah. So the next one, Sainz and Hulkenberg, actually, because it was Sainz and Hulkenberg, were the only two drivers on the hard tires in lap 9. And Russell. So it was Sainz, Hulkenberg, and Russell were the only ones on the hard tires. Started on the hard tires. So clearly that was a good strategy, and it worked for Russell. But obviously we know why it worked for Russell. So lap 9, Lewis lifted and coasted. His engineer was saying to him, "Look, Lewis, you need to lift and coast." This was only on lap 19, so his tires were burning away slowly. But I was a bit suspicious. I was a bit worried for Lewis Hamilton at lap 9 when your team's telling you to lift and coast. But the reason why that basically when you lift and coast, it's more of the aero doing the work. It's to save fuel, and it's the aerodynamics that do more of the work when you go around the corners or go around the bends. That's basically what lift and coast is. My camera is playing up so bad. So what do you think when they said lift and coast?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's understandable why they did lift and coast, because it's a long race. Even though it's 44 laps, the track is long, so you don't really want to push your tyres to the absolute limit because there's a long race to go. I think that's why the hard tyres and the medium tyres were the best tyres, because they're more long lasting compared to the soft air tyres. So yeah, I think it was a good idea. Preserving the tyres, preserving the fuel. You don't want to run out of fuel in Spa, because it's a really, really big track, and that's why it's only got 44 laps, because the lap alone is really, really long. Lift and coast I think was the right decision for Mercedes. And of course, lift and coast can be quite fast as well, because you brake later going into the corner. Letting the aerodynamics do the work, and it's a good strategy by Mercedes. Saving the tires as well, because tire management was so vital in this race. Long race, long laps, vital. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good decision by Mercedes.
So Russell actually done 34 laps on his tires. 34 laps. I just want to go back to that point with Russell. Russell done 34 laps on his tires. He made that work. So I remember at the end of the race, they were saying to Lewis Hamilton, I think it was Oscar Piastri in the cool down room. He was saying to Hamilton, "I can't believe that Russell made that strategy work." And Hamilton says, "I could have done it if the team would have told me." So again, that goes back to what we always talked about. Lewis is more of a data-driven guy. He tends to listen to Bono for everything. Russell kind of tends to think outside the box, which is more of an old school approach on Formula One, where you just drive and you do your own strategy. The driver knows best because he's in the car. What do you guys think of that? What do you think? Are you more of a driver where you tend to do the strategy in your head yourself, or do you tend to, do you think it's better to listen to your race engineer? Me, I'm more like Russell. I like the old school approach where the driver in the car knows best. All right, you got your engineers, you got your data, but the best data is the guys driving the car.
Yeah, I think that.
Big up, Justine.
Yeah, big up, man.
Justin.
I think it's like kind of the way that if you don't trust yourself, of course, listen to the team. But I think you sometimes have to trust yourself as well. You know, because when you're in a race, I think it's down because the data can give the best possible strategy on the computer. But when you're driving the car, if you think the tyres are still good, stay out longer. It's common sense. If the tyres are not blistering, the tyres are not showing any wear, and the tyres are, the human beat the data. It did. Of course, we all know why. We all know why. Yeah, because your car was underweight. But
Yeah.
I think it's better. I'm going with how Russell is that. It's better to do it yourself. It's better to do it yourself because you're driving the car. You have a feeling of the tyres. If you think the tyres are good, why just pit for the sake of it? That's what I say about Lewis. He said in the interview, I think the interviewer asked him, what would you have done in that race? And he said, I would have made my own strategy. That's exactly what Lewis said after
Why didn't you do that then?
after the interview. And I was thinking, why didn't you do that? If you had all that time, you was driving that car and you thought your strategy was best, right? Just go for your strategy, go for your instincts. That's what Russell does. Yeah. But he said Hamilton said he would have made his own strategy. Of course he won the race. He won the race, right? But say if no decision was made. This is me saying if no decision was made. This is what I was thinking in the race. Why did you make your own strategy yourself? Because he's basically saying Mercedes strategy pants. That's basically what he's trying to say in the cover. But what exactly? So why didn't he make his own strategy? That's why I would rather go with you're driving the car, you do your own. If you still feel good in the car, you go long. It's simple. Unless you're going for an undercut, and that's it.
That's why. This is why. Nicky Lauda always says, "Let them drive." You can't be your own strategy. All right, you're gonna have, like I said, you're gonna have all the engineers around you. You're gonna have all your strategies, but only the driver knows how far he can go. And with Lewis Hamilton, he tends to be more data driven, in my opinion. He tends to listen to Bono. He seems like if Bono's not there, he seems like he's off a bit. But I think if Russell was on his own, I think Russell could cope. And he showed that a couple of times in previous seasons where he's made his own strategy. The team told him don't come and he came in. It worked out for him. That time when he overtook Lewis Hamilton, I think it was at Hungary, 2022. I think it was Hungary. And he overtook Lewis in the pits because that was his own strategy. Yeah, man. So I like Russell's approach regarding strategy, in my opinion. I would more listen to my own self and the way I'm driving, how the car feels. So lap 11 now, Russell and Max pits. So Russell and Max pits at lap 11, tries to catch Sainz on the undercut with the hard tires. Lewis and Checo pits at lap 12. So lap 19, Sainz was saying to his team, let's see if we can do a one-stopper because Sainz was on the hard tires. But no, sorry, we got that mixed up. So lap 21, Sainz pits for the medium tires. Lap 22, Checo pits, puts the hard tires on for Max to get past. Charles pits at lap 26 on the hard tires, undercut 3.4 seconds. Lap 27, Lewis pits on 2.4 seconds as well. And Max, so people were basically trying to undercut each other because we know at this track the undercut is big. Bit like Hungary is a big undercut because I think it's down to the pits, the way the pit, when you approach the pit lane.
Yeah.
Very awkward, very awkward. So at this point, we had Max. I think Max was in front of Lando at this point. So overall, when you saw that Russell was basically staying out, and then Lewis Hamilton had his fresh hard tires on, did you think that Lewis could catch Lando no catch Russell at this point because Russell obviously stayed out. He pitted at lap 11 and put the hard tires in the minute last. Very, very, very good. The what he done there. So what did you think? You think that he could catch him?
Yeah, I thought he could have catched him because Hamilton was on a way better strategy. He was in striking distance within 5 laps. And that AWS graphic that always comes up. He was in striking distance 5 laps. In 5 laps, he was in striking distance, but he was losing out so much on the corners. I don't know what it was that when Russell always pulled away from the corners, and that's how Russell built up his time because Hamilton could be 5 tenths and then lose 3 tenths on a corner and be 8 tenths when going up to Eau Rouge, which is nowhere near close enough if you want to make a move on, of course, that big straight where Eau Rouge is. But yeah, it's just that, when you're having your car underweight, your corners are just so sharp. Just like that, it's so sharp when you have your car, even it's a little bit underweight, you're gonna get better corner speed than of course whoever you're racing against. So Hamilton caught him up, but he did not pass him.
But imagine 34 laps though, 34 laps on the medium tires at Spa. That's an achievement, man. When you pit at lap 11. I'm going to talk about Russell. He pits at lap 11, puts a hard tires on, and he lets some tires last for 34 laps. That's an achievement.
Yeah, it is.
So hold on for a minute. Justin says Lewis knew that Red Bull drivers don't race fair, and this time he was not messing around with Perez. What do you think about that? From Justin in the chat.
I think on about the start of the race between Hamilton and Perez.
They
were side by side, and I think Perez did go wide or Hamilton went wide. I think Hamilton had the inside line. Okay, of course, he started in 3rd position, then he cut into the inside line. He had the inside line, and they were really, really close, side by side. And he overtook him fair and square. They could have made contact. They could have made contact, but they never. It was great racing between those two. I think that's what he's referring about, Justin. If I'm saying it wrong, just please, say something in the comments. Lewis knew that Red Bull drivers don't race fair, and this time, he overtook Perez really well at the start of the race.
Yeah, I got another question for you as well, for both of us. Solo, Russell was slowing Lewis. Actually, that's why Piastri came close. Yeah, now what he was doing, right? What Russell was doing, he was basically defending for his life because he knew that Lewis had the fresher tires on, and he knew that Lewis was going to charge, and that's what he was doing. So what he was doing, he was just defending his line, rightfully so. That's what you do in racing, and got to defend your line from the charging guy behind you. Yeah, he was talking. We're talking about the start.
Yeah.
So overall, at the end when Russell got the win, I know there was a lot of frustration from a lot of Lewis Hamilton fans. I was one of them. I was thinking, what happened? That was my first reaction. What happened? Why didn't Lewis pass him? It seems like every time he got to those corners, like you mentioned, it just couldn't pass him. I heard people on the internet saying that they slowed the engine down. They slowed Lewis's engine down, which I think is ridiculous. Why would they do that? Why? So overall, what did you think of when Russell got that win? This is before obviously the news about him losing the race, Russell being disqualified from the race, being the car underweight, which we'll talk about more in the debrief. What did you think? What was your first reaction? Russell passed that line and Hamilton was second, because I know Hamilton was pissed off. He won't say he was. He won't come on the camera and say he's pissed off, but he was.
I was shocked. I was shocked when Russell won that. And especially Hamilton being on the faster strategy. We know Russell pulling that off was amazing. On the medium tyres, even though if your car's underweight, going that low on a medium tyre is absolutely amazing. But yeah, I was shocked. I didn't really say anything after that. I was just shocked. I thought Lewis could pull out the bag, and last couple of laps towards the end, how Lewis just losing out on them corners every single time, losing out on them corners. It's like his car was just, it looked heavy, but like he was just losing so much on them corners. It was just unbelievable. 2 tenths, 3 tenths on them corners, and then he didn't get close enough to make an overtake, because it is hard to overtake around here. It is hard because there's one big DRS zone. Then all it is a bunch of twisty bits, corners, fast bends, and realistically, the two best overtaking opportunities is Eau Rouge, and that's straight, and the last straight before that final chicane. These are the best opportunities if you want to overtake at Spa. And of course, all Russell had to do is just stick it out for them 2 corners, and then he's fine. Because if he can defend for Eau Rouge, he's fine for the rest of the track.
It's crazy though. It's crazy. No, but you know what I don't get? It's crazy how Russell's tyres were so old and Lewis Hamilton's tyres, same compound, hard tyres. Lewis was chasing him down, and he had I remember at one point it was like 7.5 seconds behind him. Lewis finally cut him up. Again, the life in the tyres was so much more grip than Russell's. But when we was watching them, the chase down, it seems like the grip wasn't there for Lewis. It was just weird. I was thinking, why can't Lewis catch Russell? The tyres are a lot fresher. And then when the race finished, what happened? We started to hear news about the car underweight, that he's been disqualified. And automatically, when I heard that, I thought to myself, that's why Lewis couldn't catch him. That was my opinion on it at the time. I still stick by that. When your car's a little bit underweight, obviously that's a big advantage over your opponent if you got the same car. If your car's a bit old, it doesn't matter how much weight. Any weight makes a difference. Every little helps, as I say. Every little helps. Regarding weight, regarding the car. So did you think this was like a direct? Do you think, right? This is the reason why that Russell won the race, because of the car being underweight?
Yeah, because if your car's underweight, that's going to help you so much in the corners. Your car will feel like it's so lightweight when going around them corners. Even though it's not a big weight difference, but if you got a car that's a little bit heavier and you got a car that's a little bit lighter, right, the corners are going to be a big factor. That is why Hamilton, right, was, Hamilton was a little bit slow on the corners.
I agree.
Yeah. So, of course, in the straight it was catching, but Hamilton on the corners were losing out, and I think that's why.
Yeah, I think he said something seemed off. Hamilton didn't pass Russell on the track, given his pace throughout the race and life of his tyres. It was baffling, yeah. And then obviously that news come along saying that the car was underweight. And he also said, Justine said, 10 more races before 2025, guys. It's now a countdown. Fingers crossed. We see Newey at Ferrari. Yeah. Talking about Adrian Newey, I'm going to start talking. He hasn't actually made his decision yet, because a lot of people are saying he's going to Mercedes. Some people are saying he was going to might return to go back to Red Bull, which I highly doubt it. I just don't understand yet why people think he's going to go to Mercedes. He hasn't said anything yet. Look. I personally think he's going to go to Ferrari. I think that contract's already signed. I think he signed it a long time ago. I think he's going to go to Ferrari. They're going to wait till the season finishes, and then they're going to announce it. They're not going to announce it now. I think he probably said to Ferrari, look, we'll sign the contract. And this is what I think. I think we're going to sign the contract, and we'll just would have made a gentleman's agreement where he's already agreed in principle that he's going to join Ferrari, and they're just keeping it quiet. In case the leaks come. This is what I think, in case the leaks start coming out. What do you think? Where do you think Adrian Newey is going to go? I think he's going to go to Ferrari. If he doesn't go to Ferrari, it's going to be kind of a silly decision, because he's always said he wants to work with Lewis. He's worked with Schumacher. He's worked with Senna. He's worked with all the great drivers. And he said his biggest regret in life in Formula One that he hasn't worked with Lewis Hamilton yet. This is his chance. We know Ferrari won him. Lewis Hamilton's gone to Ferrari. So there you go. It's there on the plate.
Yeah, and I think it will be the right decision. Of course, we had rumours about Williams, of him going to Williams. So I think was absolutely, a rubbish. I don't believe what the media say. There's so much stuff that the media say that's not true. But Ferrari is the most likely one, and it will be quite a shame for him not to go into Ferrari. I think if Adrian Newey does go to Ferrari, I think he will. That team's going places, man. That team's going to get good. Because look what he did with the Red Bull. In charge of the aerodynamics. He was involved with Red Bull when they had that big domination. Verstappen was winning, races by 30 seconds, 20 seconds. It was absolutely, it was shocking. Yeah. So of him going to Ferrari, I don't think he would do the same thing. He could do the same thing. He's Adrian Newey at the end of the day. One of the best car, manufacturers, the best, especially in aerodynamics in Formula One history. If he doesn't go to Ferrari, it's a shame, but there's no reason why he shouldn't go to Ferrari. He wants to work with Lewis. But yeah, I still think he's going to Ferrari, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's gone to Ferrari as well. It says, Justice, the Ferrari needs Newey's aero suspension, plus the engine they are working on, and we have hammer time. Of course, it's a match made in heaven. Lewis Hamilton and Adrian Newey is just meant to be, and that will finish off the story for Lewis Hamilton, and that will cap off the story for Adrian Newey. That means he can, when he retires, he can say, look, I've worked with everyone. I've worked with Senna, I've worked with Schumacher, and I've worked with Lewis, the three best drivers in Formula One. So, and then he can chill. Because if he doesn't go to Ferrari, it just doesn't make sense. And it won't make sense to him. It says Newey designs a Ferrari F1 car, then a real time car, and Hamilton gets a world championship for Ferrari and real time named after. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Yeah. It's gonna happen. Big up Jordan. Hey Solo, how's you doing, bro? Big up to you. So that's it, man. That's the end of it. So this is the end of this review. Sorry if I've been kind of on and off a bit today. My camera's playing up. It's kind of throwing me off the way I'm talking as well. It's throwing me off because you know me, a lot of things perfect. Everything's set out perfect. But it is what it is. Look, it's the end of the Grand Prix season. While we're halfway through it now, it's a summer break. So we've got 4 weeks off now of Formula One. We're still going to bring news once a week about Formula One as well, because even though it's off for 4 weeks, but any news and rumours, we're going to bring it up about regarding Formula One. Now, regarding football, I know Liverpool play on Thursday. They're going to be playing Arsenal. So I will be talking about that in the future, probably tomorrow or the day after. I'm not sure about the watch along. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. But we've still got things coming up on the channel. Plus, I got my FIFA video, which I'll be uploading today regarding some more card news and FIFA card videos, which thank you very much for the love I got from the community and the videos the last couple of days. Big up, man. I just decided to do it, and now I'm getting some love. And I respect all the comments. I think I had about 35 comments, TOTO. About 35 comments on the video.
That's
all
good.
Positive as well. So I'm going to be doing one of them today as well. But is there anything you want to say, TOTO, before we leave?
I'll just say check out my recent video on, of course, I do FIFA videos as well, player reviews and all that, and content. I've done a recent one about Dybala. Another one will be coming today, maybe. Definitely, I'm recording it today. Maybe upload tomorrow, or maybe upload today. So keep an eye on that on my channel. Will be the new Butcher Gaming SBC. Hours and hours of grinding. And to do with content on it. So yeah, man. The hours and grinding. It's hours, but it's worth it. At the end of the day, if you're gonna do a video about it and report it. So that's gonna be coming soon on my channel. And of course, the podcast of me and Ty Cuthbert will be on a pause for a bit. I think I said this last video, but it will be on a pause in a bit because Ty Cuthbert has holiday plans. I have holiday plans coming up. I'm going on holiday, I think, next week. So we could get a podcast in this week, maybe. I've got to contact him. That's it.
So that's it, guys. Sorry if it was nearly an hour. We kind of went through a bit static for me because again my camera's playing up and it was just once my stuff play up, it throws me off on my stream. That's just the way it is. I like things like in order, but it is what it is. Okay, whatever. We've done the review now, Spa Grand Prix review. So the race winner is Lewis Hamilton. It wasn't the race. He never got announced the race winner at the beginning. Obviously, Russell went up on the podium. Lewis Hamilton got the second, but when the news started filtering in, and that Russell broke the rules, and he didn't deliberately do it. His car was underweight. Things like that can happen, and the rules are the rules. When your car's underweight, you will get disqualified. So we didn't finish nowhere. So we finished with no points. Lewis Hamilton ended up getting the first spot. Second was Piastri. Who got third? I know Piastri got. Who got third? Was it Sainz? I'm sure Sainz got third. Was it Sainz?
I think so. I don't know.
Hold on.
Called Hamilton first, Piastri second.
Sainz.
Who got fourth?
No, I don't care who got fourth. Who got
Yeah, but who got fourth? Who got fourth in the race?
I don't know. Let's get it before we go.
I think it was Sainz or Leclerc.
I think Leclerc got third.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leclerc. So basically, Russell got disqualified, obviously. So Hamilton got the first, second Piastri, and third Leclerc. So that's how the race went. So big up to everybody. Thanks for all the positive comments. Yeah, there you go, Leclerc. Should have just asked the chat room. Chat room would have told us. Easy, simple. There's me looking at the computer. Who got third? Yeah, thank you very much, Justin. Thank you very much, Geekska. I don't know, or 7. I'll call you 750cc. Big up to Jordan. Remember, guys, smash the like button. Smash the like button. It's essential for the channel. Yeah. It says on here, this win for Lewis makes up for his demotion at the Spa 2008. Yeah. Facts. So, guys, remember to smash the like button, share as well. We will be back probably tomorrow. We're going to be doing some pre-record videos. It's the F1 debrief, so we're going to be going through all the analysis, all the strategy, and that will be a pre-record, and that will be coming on the channel tomorrow. So look out for that as well. Plus some more football stuff in the future. I'm sorry for the camera. I know it's static. I'm very sorry. Big up, guys. I'm going to be heading off. So Toto, are you heading off now, boy?
Yeah, man. Big up.
Okay, let's put the intro on and we'll head off. See you later, guys. Bye. Yeah.